6 months. I lost so many, though they say we've won, and I'm on my way to you. Just one more time that I must cross those lines and I am home. Home. And the daylight turns into the night. You're all I'm thinking of. You're always all I'm thinking of. When the daylight turns into the night, I will be home. It was like a dream. I close my eyes and now it's here. Just one more day until we're free. I'm on my way to you. Just one more time that I must cross those lines and I am home. And the daylight turns into night. You're all I'm thinking of. You're always all I'm thinking of. When the daylight turns into night, I will be. Then the shots ring out across that desert sand. I will be. Just one more time, yeah, to cross those lines, but now he's gone. Gone. And the daylight turns into night. One more day, and he was on a plane on his way to you.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Johnny Zero here, the best beard in radio, and finally we got our power issue figured out. We are back. We are coming to you live, loud and proud from the studio home of the Warfighter Up Radio Network, and that incredible song we just played is by an extremely talented artist, Mr. John Preston. I believe John is on the line with us. John, are you with us?
Hey, what's going on?
How's it going, brother?
Oh, another day in paradise, right? Another day in paradise.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. And that we just played your song, and dude, I'm just absolutely blown away by your work. I always have been. Incredible stuff. And we've got quite a bit of talk about here. So if you could just give us a little bit of background on you and kind of what got us to this point here.
Oh, if we had all day, we could tell that whole story. I'm going to give you the best bullet points I can.
I dig it, brother. I dig it.
So, I personally grew up in a family of Marines. You know, my father was a Marine, Vietnam veteran, Purple Heart Award recipient. You know, he was my hero in life. So obviously, following him and both my brothers, I went into the Marine Corps. Went in pre-9/11 in 2000. And got my share of combat in 2004 with 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines. For me, I'd been writing music since I was old enough to figure out what it was. So back then in 2004, we wrote a song over in Iraq that went viral before viral existed. This is pre-YouTube. Right. I think we had 500,000 downloads in a day or something because we were covered by LA Times. It had hit every newspaper in the country. So At that point in my life, I thought, oh yeah, it's time. Every dream that I ever had, I'm a rock star,
Right.
So I get out of the Marine Corps, then sign a label, and it doesn't go. We missed the bus, or whatever happened. I ran some media back then, and that was about it. So fast forward 12 years, 10 years. It's 12 years now. Fast forward 10 years, and still writing. I'm still playing, but I hadn't attempted to do anything in the music industry. Since then, I had kind of, my heart was broken. I was done. And I had this universe tapping me on the shoulder saying, John, you have a purpose in life and you're not doing it right now. And, I work as a firefighter. I help people every day, but I wanted to take it to a macro level, and I wanted to use what God had given me. So I called up the guys from Pacific Records that I knew from back in 2004 when they were running a tiny little independent label out of their basement, and said, hey, I want to take another shot at this. And I was signed. I mean, the guy said, dude, you started my career. Let's do this. So we went after it. We signed our first album, Your War's Over. We signed this deal with Boot Campaign. We're giving 30% of our proceeds still today. If you go and buy it on iTunes or Amazon or wherever you buy, 30% goes to Boot Campaign to fight post-traumatic stress. That album was incredibly successful. We thousands of views and media all over the country. I'm driving from place to place to do news stories and articles written about us. I think once a week for months and months and months, we had a new article coming out. Mm-hmm. So it was this, okay, now we're doing it. We're raising awareness to post-traumatic stress. We're raising awareness to veteran suicide. It's incredible. So fast forward again a couple more months as we continue to work. I write the song day to night. Charles Strong, who gave his life in combat, was with my really good friend's son at the time it happened. He dies on his last day in combat. As a combat veteran, that hit me really hard because you have that concept of one more day, and I'm done,
Oh, yeah, you hang on to that, yeah.
Yeah, and it rocked me. So I had this whole world of, I didn't think it at the time that I was going to tell Charles' story, and I sat down at a piano with no concept, no idea, and I started playing, and Charles' story came out. I joke with his wife now that I think he came and hung out with me that day. It right. was one of those things where it was a complete spiritual connection. So we tell Charles' story, and everything happens. We have no money. We have no anything. And somehow we shoot this incredible video. It all fell together. And we're shooting on the set of American Sniper and Iron Man. And, the world is just in our hands.
It's kind of,
I swear to God, it was.
It's kind of funny because as I was watching that video, and it is extremely well done, I recognized some of those. I think it was the stairwell that jumped out at me from American Sniper. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. And it was just, it's such a surreal feeling. First of all, I'm back in Fallujah,
Right.
And I'm just like, holy smokes, this is unreal. I was incredibly emotional, and it wasn't all because of that. First of all, we brought Taylor Strong out, the wife of Charles Strong. A very sad story. Taylor was 8 months pregnant when Charles died. His daughter, Sophie, came out and visited us. She's an absolute angel, and unfortunately, she never gets to see her father. She only gets to know that Daddy was a hero, and now we've immortalized him for her for the rest of her life. I think of when I was a child, my father played music, and I had one of his records, and I used to flip it over and listen to it nonstop. And I remember that kind of set me in my path of what I was going to do in life.
Yeah.
And now here we are giving this child an opportunity for the rest of her life to remember her father, for the rest of her life to see her young, vibrant, beautiful mother. And, this just picture taken in time that will forever be there for her. So, it's such an incredible experience. And why this was happening, and while this was happening, my father is in a coma in Kentucky dying.
Oh,
and I'm a wreck. I mean, you can see it in the video. You can see it in the photos that were taken throughout the thing. I broke down probably 100 times during that shoot. And it was not only because I was losing my father, and not only because, Taylor's there and it's very emotional for her, but also because I'm accomplishing my dreams that my father had set out for me when I was a child. That he wanted to live his music life through me, and it was something that, it's still connected to my heart, and I still know that right now he's here with me going through this, and it was just such a moment in time that to see what it's doing right now. The video is taking off. I guess Memorial Day put it up, and we're giving it away for free right now on cdbaby.com. It is free. So you can go and download Day to Night and pay nothing.
Nice.
But it's not about that.
Right.
If you go and buy it on iTunes or you go and buy it anywhere else, you're still giving 30% of that to Taylor and Sophie Strong right now as well.
Mm.
But it's been a road, man. And my goal is not to raise awareness anymore. My goal is to save lives. And my goal is to be at the Grammys next year in front of 40 million people talking about our veterans issues. We need one of us to be right in front stage of the mainstream. And I want to be that person. I am that person, and I will be that person. And my life has been dragged through the mud, especially in the last 10 months. I lost my father 10 months ago. 7 months after that, my oldest brother, a Marine Corps veteran, took his own life.
Oh, man.
And it blew my mind. The person that I looked up to my whole life, the reason, one of the three reasons, my father, my brother, and brother, one of the three reasons I was a Marine, one of the three reasons I am where I am today, and he's gone. And he was fighting something that I didn't know. For a moment, I put my guitar down and I said, I think I'm done. I think I'm going to walk away because I missed it at home. I had it right in front of me all this time, and I missed it at home. How am I supposed to think that I can save other people's lives when I can't save my brother? And it took a long time to realize that he was my family's Superman, So because of that, he would have never showed weakness to his little brother anyways.
Right.
It didn't matter what was going on. He refused to let me know that he was battling any post-traumatic stress. He was a cop for 20 years. He, showed up on the scenes of families killing their children. Right. He had a lot of built-up things, a huge scrapbook of just madness, and he kept it inside. And he, dealing with personal issues and everything else that went with it, it only made it worse. And I want to love my brother, but I'm angry at my brother. Mm-hmm. I watch what's happening to my family right now. I watch what's happening to his beautiful 4 children at home that are falling apart. And my goal now is to stop that from happening to any other family in this world. It does not need to happen. Nobody needs to be dragged through the mud like we are right now. And that's where it's going to go after Day to Night. We're in the building process of our next project, which is ready to be funded. We have the funding going through the process, and we're going big. We'll be on the front shelves of Target. We'll be on the front shelves of Best Buy. They are projecting that we're going to be in the Billboard charts within the first week of the release. And this whole story is just a story of suicide, loss, pain, everything that a family gets drugged through, and ultimately that life is not better without you. It's not. And we're going to tell that story to the best, and hopefully people that are going through what my brother was going through silently will see it and know that they don't need to leave their family.
It's but I'm almost at a loss for words here, and I thank you so much for being able to share your story, because that's a very difficult thing to do, and I get exactly what you're saying. It's so hard sometimes to see it in those that we love, and hell, it's even hard to see it in ourselves, and I've been there, mm-hmm. I've been that guy sitting in the darkness